Okay, so hi everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be making another beautiful crochet bag. This bag you see on your thumbnail, on my thumbnail. And in order for us to begin, we're going to start with our leather base. Okay, we have our zipper, we have our yarn. I'm going to be doing all of it in chocolate brown. And then we have our rings and strap handles, and as well as our logo. Okay, yeah. So we're going to begin with our leather base. Okay, so we're gonna begin. So I'll be beginning at this edge. All right, we're going to crochet around our leather base. So here I'll be doing 2 stitches in one loop. So these are my first 2 stitches. Okay, and then I'll do the next 2 stitches. Okay, so what I want to do basically is I want 3 of these to have 2 stitches, then 1 in the middle, 2 stitches, then the edge, 3 loops. We're gonna have 2 stitches on each loop, and then same thing here. Okay, so I have my next 2 stitches on that loop, so I already have 6 stitches. Then I'm going to do my single stitch here, and then here we'll have a double stitch. Okay, here I'll have a single stitch. In the middle here I have a double stitch. Here single stitch. Excuse me. Here I have a double stitch. Okay, here single stitch, and then this last 3 I'm going to have double stitches. The next 3 loops I have double stitches. That's 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so I'm going to continue single, double, single, double, single, double until I reach the edge of the other, on the other side of the leather. So I have here single, double, okay, here I have single, here double, here single, here double, 2 stitches. Here a single stitch, and here a double stitch, single and double stitch, okay. Here a single stitch, here a double stitch, here a single stitch, here a double stitch. All right. Here single, double, double stitch, here a single stitch, and then our next 3 loops we have our double stitches. Double stitches, double stitches, and double stitches, okay. And then we continue single, double, single, okay. Here double, here single, here double stitches, here single, and then the next 3 we have double stitches. And double. All right, so after that we're going to continue single, double, single, double, single, double right to the end, and when I reach the end I'm going to come back. All right, so we continue. Okay, so here I've come to the end of the leather base, and then now I'm going to join the last stitch with this in a slip stitch, okay, and then I block. So from now we're going to do single crochet all round, but I'm still wondering if I should increase the number of loops, because based on the design I want to do, I want the base to be bigger and then it gets smaller at the top. So I would see if I'm supposed to increase another loop. I'll probably do it here in the middle as we go, because I think there's number of loops on the sides are okay. All right, or maybe we don't increase. Anyway, let's do a single crochet all through. We're not going to increase any other loop. All right, so I'll do a single crochet, I think I want to, so I just increased a loop here, and then we're going to continue with that. Okay, so right here in the middle, instead of doing a single crochet, I did 2 on the loop here in the middle, and then I continue with my single crochet. So we're going to continue the single crochet. When I get to this middle, I'm going to increase one loop. So we'll continue all round and then we're going to come back. All right. Okay, so I've done my single crochet. Then right to the middle of the other side, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the loop here in the middle, and then I'm going to continue the single crochet. All right to the end, and then I'll see you when I come back. Okay, so I'm here right to the end. All right, and then in order to join this, we're going to do our slip stitch. Okay, and then we lock. But now I'm going to introduce a new pattern, the pattern of which I want to go with this bag. So in order for us to do that, what we're going to do is that for every loop, we're going to be exploiting the loop down as well as the loop up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to insert our crochet pin in the loop down. Now I don't know if you can see clearly. So we're going to be exploiting this loop as well as this, and then the next as well as, just like that, the next as well as this, the next as well as this. So in order to begin the pattern, we're going to begin with a loop down. We yarn over and we do our single crochet. Okay, and then here above we're going to do a single crochet, and then we know that this single crochet that we did, it's equal to this loop here, so we're going to skip this loop. We come down, we yarn over and we do a single crochet, and then the next loop, which is equivalent to the one up, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, so the following loop, which is equivalent to the one down, we're going to yarn over, we do a single crochet, and then the next loop, which is equivalent to the one up. So the pattern is going to go down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so we're going to follow the next loop, which is equivalent to the one down. We see this one up is equivalent to this, so we take the next, we yarn over, we do a single crochet, and then the one up, okay, a single crochet. The one up is equivalent to this one down, so we're going to take the next, we yarn over, do a single crochet, and then the next loop, which is the one up. Right, so I don't know if that's clear enough, but let's do it again one more time. The loop up is equivalent to the one down. Okay, and then do a single crochet. We're going to skip the next loop. So this one up is equivalent to this one, so we skip, we go to the next, we yarn over, okay, do a single crochet, and then the next loop, which is up, a single crochet, down, a single crochet, the next loop, which is up, a double crochet, a single crochet, I mean. So this is how it's going to look like. So this one up is equivalent to this down, so we skip this, we come to the next, okay, and then the next loop, so we're going to continue the pattern like that. Okay, Okay, so this is how it looks like. So we're going to continue this pattern until we get to this end, and then I'll show you how to do the second row for this pattern. Okay, so we've completed the first row for this pattern, and then for the next row, this is where we are. So it's basically the same. So here we're going to exploit the loop up. We do a single crochet, and then the next loop, which is here, we do a single crochet. The next loop up, the next loop down, the next loop up, the next loop down, the next loop up, the next loop down, next loop up, next loop down. So that's basically the pattern. So this is what we'll be having. All right, this was going to look like. The next loop down, the next loop up, the next loop down, which is beneath this, the next loop up, the next loop down. So this is basically how the pattern will be. So we're going to do about 13 to 15 rows of this, depending on how it looks like. So we're going to do about, this is the second row, so we have like 13 more rows of this to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue, and I'll do the next probably 7 rows, and I'll come back. I'll show you how it looks like, and then we'll continue to the next 15 rows. All right. Okay, so we're back, everyone. We're back, and you can see we have done 15 rows of this pattern. We've done 15 rows. To go for count: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 17 14 rows. Okay, so from here we're going to continue with a single crochet all around, and we're going to do 5 rows of those single crochet. So if I'm to begin from here, which is my starting point, I'm going to do single crochet, so these are single crochet. We're going to do it all around, and we're going to do 5 different rows of this single crochet. Okay, so when I'll be done with the 5 rows, I'm going to come back. Okay, so we are done with our 5 rows of single crochet. As you can see, 1 2 3 4 5. and we are going to end here for now. So what we are going to do is we're going to try to burn off the excesses, the excess yarns that are trailing on the back. Okay, so we are done burning the excesses. Now we're going to keep the bag aside and we're going to do the handle, work on the handle. So we're going to be making 2 handles. This is an example of the handle we're going to be making. So we're going to be making 2 of this. I've already made one, the first one. So I'm going to show you how I did this. Then we're going to make the second one together. Okay, so we have our yarn and our crochet. We're going to be using this crochet pin. So we'll begin by doing we use our index and our middle finger, and we'll do like a circle on it. Okay, and then we take this and then we yarn over. So this is like a first loop, a first stitch that we've done. So we're going to make 7 stitches around this thread. So we're going to have the second one. Okay, we have the third one. We have the fourth one. All right. And then we have a fifth one. We have a 6th one. And then the 7th. So when we have the 7th, we now take the edge and we pull. When we pull, we're going to have the circle in between close. So from there, we're going to join the last stitch with the first one. We join it by taking the back loop of the first stitch. So this is the loop we're going to be using, the back loop, not the front, but rather the back. So you're going to take the back loop and then we do a single stitch. We'll continue like that until we make one full circle. Okay, so maybe you want to indicate where your first stitch was, which is this. All right, I mark where my first stitch was with the location of this thread. So I continue the back loop doing my single crochet. Okay, And then I've done the first round using the back loop. Now after using the back loop, for the next round I will leave the back loop, and then I will come now at the bottom beneath the second row that I just did. So this is what I'll be using now to crochet. I yarn over, I do my first stitch. The next I'm going to use this. All right, yarn over, second stitch. The next I'll use this, yarn over. The next I use this. Okay, yarn over. The next, this in between, yarn over. The next loop will be this in between. So in that line, that's how I'm going to continue doing the handle. All right, I'll continue doing the handle in that line. I look for those loops that are in between, and then I'll yarn over and do my stitch. Okay, so we'll continue like this until we get the length of the handle that we want. Okay, so as you keep at it, you see that it gives you the spiral, this spiral texture. All right, so we're going to continue. We're taking the loops this. Okay, so we continue with our handle. So we're going to do this until we have the desired length that we want. Okay, so I'm going to be back when I have my desired length, and then I'll show you how we can finish and conclude the handle. Okay, okay, so I already have my desired length. So now I'm going to end. So what I do is I basically just, to yarn over at least 2 loops in order for me to close the circle. Okay, so I yarn over 2 loops so that I can basically just close up the circle. All right, okay. Okay, so I'm done with my handles. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting our lining in the back. So I'd already sewed my lining, so I'll just come. I'll put it in my back, okay? Okay. So we're about to put our lining. Okay, so when I'll be back with the sewing, when I'll be done with the sewing, then I'll be back. All right, but this is how I arrange my lining in order to sew it. Okay. Okay, so I am done putting the lining of the back, as you can see. The next part we're going to be fitting in is the handle. Okay. And the handle is what is actually going to give the design of the bag. All right. So the handle will naturally look like this. Okay, so now we're going to fit these handles in place. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to secure the zipper. But remember, I still have to come back and I strengthen the handles. But first, I'm going to secure the zipper. So this is us securing our zipper. And then we begin to crochet around it. Okay, so this is me securing the zipper. Unfortunately, I had to change the sense, the direction, because it was not coming, it was not given the way I wanted it to. So I decided to insert the zipper from within and crochet it from within rather than outward. So this is what it's looking like. Okay. Okay, as you can see, we finished securing our zipper in place. This is what it looks like. I've trimmed all the excesses. As you can see, the zipper is secure. My logo has been put. Then I'm going to fit all the other accessories. We still have to do the handle of the bag. So as you can see, our bag is almost ready. So what is remaining is to do a tassel for the bag and then the handle for the bag. So we're going to get right to it, okay? Okay, so we're going to begin doing our bag handle. So I'm going to be using these back handle hooks to crochet around it, okay? So we'll just be using our single crochet stitches. So work on the back handle. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you lock. And then we turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we lock. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be taking this loop and this loop together. Okay, this is the pattern we're going to be using. So I'm just trying to, I'll just try and crochet this excess in the back handle. Okay, so we take this loop and this loop together, I yarn over, all right, and then I make a single crochet. I'll take the second loop, okay, with this one, yarn over, make my stitch, take the third loop with this, third loop with this, yarn over, okay, take the fourth loop with this, yarn over, and then the last loop like this, I yarn over, okay, and then I block. Then I'll continue the same pattern. the same pattern. I'll take the first loop and this, yarn over, and I go second loop and this, yarn over, third loop. All right, fourth loop and fifth loop. That block. So it goes in. So you're crocheting using this first and the second loop. So this pattern actually helps the strap to be stiff, you know, and put in place so that it would not stretch easily when you use them. That's why I like to use this pattern for my loop, for my back strand. Okay, so we're going to continue in the same pattern until you do the required length that you desire for the bag. And then when we've achieved that length, then we will now attach it to the second hook, to the second back strap hook. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So I'll be back after acquiring my desired length. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I've already crocheted the desired length of the strap that I want. Now I'm going to join it to the second hook. Okay. So now we're going to try to hide this excess. Okay. And then here we are, we're done with our strap. Okay. So the last thing that is going to be that we'll need to do on our list is to create a beautiful tassel for this bag. Okay, unfortunately I had to do the tassel off camera, but this is what it looks like. And with that brings the end of this tutorial on how to make this beautiful bag. I've not given the bag a name yet. But however, thank you for watching, and I hope that you like, subscribe, you comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.